So, we're doing Tangerine Dream. Yay! Great name for a band, obviously named due to a Beatles song, like another band was named Yes because of a thing Yoko Ono did, obviously. So it's a bit more sensible in that it's named after a John Lennon song. We should make a band called Marmalade Skies. So yeah, this is not their first album, this is their 1974 album, Phaedra, from Greek mythology. I don't think there's any relevance to Phaedra, the character in Greek mythology. I think it's just a cool word reading about it because I didn't know anything about it. They are definitely krautrock, the possibly slightly xenophobic tag for this particular genre of prog. It's, well, in fact now they don't call it that, now they call it electronica. It gets attached to that rather than attached to prog, interestingly. But it is prog. You know, if you go on to Rec Music Progressive, the news group, if you know what that is, you'll find in the fact that you know that's a genre of part of prog, and it is because I say so. I think that I mean they're a big part of krautrock, and I think they're kind of fathers of the genre to a certain extent. I think they're of German prog. That's where you start. There are other great bands too, which we'll also be looking at maybe later. German prog is great. It really is. It is a particular style. It's interesting how different countries have a particular style of prog. I mean, British prog is a thing. A lot of disparate bands, but it is definitely a thing. German prog is a thing. French prog is another thing. French prog is the most extreme in a way, I think. German prog has a tastefulness to it, I think, that French prog doesn't have. It's less sophisticated or less pretentious than French prog, obviously being French. In some ways, it's very Floyd, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when I say Floyd, I mean Floyd at the peak of them as a band. I don't mean in terms of writing. I mean as a band, and as a band they peaked with Live at Pompeii, Obscured by Clouds. Period. That's when they were at their best. Playing, not writing. Don't complain. That's correct. But I mean, to compare them to Pink Floyd kind of does them a disservice. A lot of that, I think, is to do with they've just got sequencer, which makes some of it sound a bit like On the Run, because they've got that sequencer. They're doing the run of notes, type stuff. It's not ambient. Would you call it ambient?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's an easy shorthand. But in the strictest terms of ambient, it's not ambient because it's playing. There is playing going on, but it is definitely washes of sound, extended space rock. It is definitely space rock. It is, it goes on and the sound goes more, and there will be a suggestion of you should listen to it on drugs or whatever. I've no idea if the band are into that or anything like that. I certainly don't think you need to. It's not car music. You wouldn't listen to it in the car because you'd be kind of bored. Brilliant cooking music to listen to while you're cooking is great. I think
I had it on as sort of programming music, and the problem is when you put a Tangerine Dream playlist on. So this is obviously in album order, so it's surrounded by similar period stuff. It's very difficult to you suddenly notice, and you're actually 2 songs into the next album.
Yeah, you haven't noticed.
Yeah, you haven't noticed that it's finished.
Yeah, I mean that's just the nature of the style of music, isn't it? Than the actual criticism. But I think that what's really important about this one, maybe compared to much later stuff, is that it's performed, and that makes a huge difference. If you did this now, it would be just a bloke with a PC, not a woman. It would be a bloke with a PC, and it would be lots of things on the beat. A real danger of the bass drum starting to appear. If you're really unlucky, but it wouldn't have the human element of this. It's interesting how they recorded it. Some of it was unintentional, but that gives it its humanity, which is essentially because it's just sound effects, really.
Yeah,
it's a sound effects band.
That is probably the best thing about this type of music is the unintentional stuff, because that's what essentially you're doing. You sit in a room and you're trying to make sounds and see what comes out of that.
Yeah.
The downside is you find something interesting and trying to replicate that.
You can never replicate.
You can never replicate it.
Yeah.
So they're dealing with something a little bit intangible, really.
Yeah.
They're trying to capture moments.
Yeah, and I mean that's the question of accessing the subconscious and all that stuff. It's a method of doing that, isn't it? Rather than being methodical and thinking of notes. it was Richard Branson played a big part in this. Interestingly, I'm sure Richard Branson has done lots of bad things. Probably, he's important in the 70s of things he popularised, and he picked up on this. A German band, and it was huge in the UK, massive hit. No playing at all on any radio. No tour, I don't think, until afterwards. Richard Branson just decided, and he was right, and obviously it was a big hit. Hardly sold anything in Germany, interestingly. Also, I suppose we should mention that, their influences, who they've influenced, is dance music. They've influenced dance music, the Orb and people like that would definitely be listening to Tangerine Dream. Well, the dance music discussion is for another day, but that's quite interesting, because what I think they're doing is something slightly different. Track 1.
Brian Eno.
Brian Eno is track 1, and
Phaedra.
yeah, it sounds like On the Run. That does it a disservice, because it is On the Run times 1,000, and it is very much that principle of what Roger Waters was doing when obviously there's a film of him recording On the Run. It's not really, he's pretending, he's just doing something different after they've recorded Dark Side of the Moon. It's very long, but it doesn't feel like a huge journey, I don't think. I think it's actually a really good introduction to this kind of thing, and it's actually quite easy, and the sequence bits are really nice, and you can just put it on and enjoy it. So it's not like this is the big epic of the album or anything like that. And I think that was really good. It was a lot of people's introduction to that type of music, so really good.
Yeah, a measure of success for these type of tracks is how much time you lose, because it really does. It makes the time just sit by, which is quite interesting considering there's not a lot. It doesn't feel like a lot's happening. So yeah, it's quite good like that. That's why it's a similar thing to ambient. If you get a good ambient track and just put it on, you barely know the time's passing, and that's why I classify it as ambient, although you don't. It's the similar sort of experience.
What's really cool about that track is it's good that it's so long, because it turns out, at least when they originally put it together, I don't know if it's actually that performance, but the equipment warmed up and went out of tune, and that's how the music changes through the track, which is brilliant. Number 2.
Mysterious Semblance at the Stand of Nightmares.
People generally call it Mysterious Semblance. You've got a bit of actual ambient stuff at the start with the children playing stuff going on. And then basically what we've got is washes of keys. I say keys, it's mellotron. It's actually mellotron. It's one of those spontaneous things where the keyboard player just went into the studio one day with his wife, actually, and just started playing mellotron stuff, and she twiddled the knobs. And it might be my favourite track on the album, actually. I think it's great. After about 5 minutes you've got some wah going on, so she must have found the wah knob. It's spacey, but then after about 5.5 minutes it starts, because you've got some staccato stuff going on, which I assume is another knob. It must be the knob she's turned up, and we go into space, and the melody washes away and becomes sound rather than notes. Lovely. That's the one I'd recommend, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Number 3.
Movements of a Visionary.
It starts off with is it white noise? I don't know if you'd call it white noise, but it's all, or maybe, I wondered if it was recorded voice, but I think the technology to do that would have been too complicated, and I think it's a Moog sound effect, I think. It's Return of the Sequencer as well, but it's more, if you like, marimba-y type stuff, rather than the title track is kind of bassy type stuff. It's got birds singing on it at the end as well.
It's nice.
That's nice. And finally,
Sequent C.
Yep, this is just a coda. And it's kind of, best way to describe it, world music horns, if you like, that kind of thing. It's brilliant, actually. That's a good thing to play to people, because it's only 2 minutes long.
Yeah. This is Tangerine Dream. Sequent C.
4 eggs. It's a 4 egg album.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some people who are really, really into Tangerine Dream.
Yeah. Yep, so we're not in next week, right? It is the summer recess. However, there will be a Wenton Nave review coming midweek, not this week, week after, of an album. And we will see you then.